I'm Rachel from Away with the Fairies, and today I want to show you how to make a rockery fairy garden. So firstly I'll talk about how I created this rockery area. I used some of the weed control fabric, which you can just pick up from any local hardware store, the black fabric. So you put that down on the ground. And then I got together a collection of different rocks, some small ones and some large ones, and just placed them around the garden. I then infilled the gaps with soil and then planted up some plants. So I've got a mixture of heathers, ferns, some aubrietia, also rock cress and primulas, so they're all going to do well in a rockery. Then I infilled all the bare earth with gravel, so I didn't want to see any of the earth. I've also planted some spring bulbs underneath, some snowdrops and some crocuses, so they're going to come up in the spring, which is going to be lovely. But what I really like about it, it's created lots of different platforms for me to put different fairy houses on, and I thought, wow, that's going to look really amazing. So we're going to, in effect, create a whole fairy village. So now I'm going to start placing some of the fairy houses in the rockery. So I've got a nice mixture of different houses. This is the teapot house with the opening door, which is really cute. So I'm going to put that on this big rock over here. Next we've got the pink slipper chateau, which has another opening door and nice steps going up to it. So that's really cute. I'm going to pop that here next to the pink primulas. Next I'm going to pop the striped gourd house here on the rock, and next to it the gnome house with its crooked roof and lovely little chimney. So this is the gourd house. I'm going to nestle it in amongst the heather. The good thing to remember about these houses is that they're all resin, so fabulous for outdoor use. Lastly, we've got this lovely flower bunch house, which is one of the range of solar houses that we have. It has a little panel in the back, and at night after dark it lights up, so that's going to look really good at the back of the rockery. So I'm going to place that over here. So the solar houses are made from resin as well, which means they're nice and robust for outdoor use, and they're frost proof as well. So next I want to add a little bit of moss, which is great for blending the houses into the environment a bit better. So I'm going to add some around the gnome house here. I'm going to add some around the teapot house as well, just to blend it in a little bit more. Now I collect this moss locally. We kind of live in a woodland, so it's easy for us to find it. So now the fun part, adding all the little accessories. So I've got some really nice woodland twig fencing, which has spikes at the bottom, stops it from falling over. That's going to create a pathway up to the door of the gourd house. I'm going to fill the pathway with some gravel. And this is nice coloured aquarium gravel, just adds a pop of colour to your fairy garden. Now I'm going to add some slate flagstones to create a pathway up to my teapot house. This was just an old slate that I found lying around, and then I just bashed it up into little pieces. Now I want to create a fairy party zone, so I thought this spot would be good. Below this rocky outcrop, it'd be a nice sheltered place for them to have a party. So we've got the lovely little fire pit, a bench, and then the fairies are going to come and hang out, chat, toast marshmallows, and generally have the crack. I thought it would be nice to add a bridge over these two rocks, kind of like a woodland suspension bridge for the fairies to trip-trap over. And behind it over here I'm going to add a wishing pool. Now I'm going to just sort of move the gravel right up to the edge so it blends in a bit more with the environment. I'm going to add this woodland wishing well, which is really sweet. It's got a little bucket in it. Perhaps I'll pop some of the coloured gravel around that, just to make more of a feature. So this is a fabulous product. It's a glowing acorn lamp, which sort of charges up during the day and then emits a soft glow at night. So that's going to be like the street lighting for my fairy village. So I'm going to place that around the village and outside some of the houses. So I'm going to pop one of the lamps over here by the gourd house and then over by the pink slipper chateau, so the fairies can see where they're going at night. So we'll pop one over here between the gnome house and the striped gourd house. And for health and safety reasons, we better have one to light up the bridge at night. Now to add a few more characters, we've got Rosie Fairy, who's sitting on the steps of Pink Slipper Chateau, and her pet unicorn. And I might just pop a bit of coloured gravel for him to sit on. He needs a sort of colourful area, doesn't he, because he's actually a rainbow unicorn, just in case you didn't notice. So this little mossy woodland area is crying out for one of our tree sprites, I think, who's a friend to the fairies and who they come to ask advice. I'm going to add a couple of fairy pets. We've got this really cute little golden Labrador who's going to live outside the gnome home. So I've got my black and white dog Bob, so the fairies need a black and white dog too. This lovely little playful sheepdog can live outside the striped gourd house. We don't want to neglect the flower bunch house at the top of the village, so I'm going to add some moss around the door. I've got this fabulous stone bridge which I'm going to have leading from this big rock up to the front door. I'm going to add a couple of characters, little fairy sitting there and maybe her pal at this side of the bridge. Got a nice toadstool dovecote in the shape of a mushroom, and finally this lovely unicorn. So that's our fairy rockery. I hope you've enjoyed watching. It's been lots of fun to make, and we'll probably keep adding to it as well over the coming weeks. We'll also do a movie of it lit up at night, so you'll see how lovely it looks when it's all lit up. Didn't get much help from Bob today, but not to worry. So thanks for watching and see you soon.